256-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Baby A is already banging the head and ready to go. I'm pumped. Good morning and welcome in to the Morning Blitz. I am Joe Hunk and he is the Bailey man, our bandy man, Bailey Lowery. He is John Abraham and we are brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up.
And it doesn't matter if you are listening and or watching in Huntsville on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as WZZN TV, or if you're listening in Tennessee at ESPN Winchester, you can get on the phone lines at 256-576-4977. We have Ben McKee coming up here in just a little bit. As from Go Vols 24/7, as the Tennessee Volunteers are going to be heading to Norman, Oklahoma to take on the Oklahoma Sooners. And Ben is, for a lot of people that don't know, not only does he cover Go Vols 24/7, he's also a former Buckhorn Buck.
Oh,
yes. I found this out a few months ago when he and I were hanging out at the Nashville Super Speedway. And he introduced me to his dad, and he's like, "Hey, Joe, this is my dad. He's in from Huntsville." And I went, what? Wait, what do you mean he's in from Huntsville? He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm from Huntsville. I'm like, dude, I've known you for like a couple of years. How are you just now telling me this? He's like, yeah, I'm a Buckhorn guy. I'm like, are you for real? He says, yeah, why? I said, I currently live in Hazel Green, so technically we should hate each other.
Technically, yeah.
Because of, like, again, last Friday night, what happened, but got spanked. But other than that, like outside of that, I was like, dude, you're Buck. I live in Hazel Green. My son goes to Hazel Green. Like we should be enemies here. But instead, he's a cool guy.
Yeah,
so
there's always a silver lining to those
there
types
is.
of things.
There
That's
is.
exciting.
And so he is so he does a ton for Go Vols 24/7. So we're gonna have him on. But look, here's the other thing. Not only that, we're going to want to know your dog of the week. We'll explain what that is at 9:45, just in case you've never, ever heard of that. God, I even turn my head and it still kind of goes really loud on that.
You're loud with that bark.
I'm still learning about what the NFL rundown is, but that's happening at 10:15. Where basically, John and Baby, or, Baby A and Bandy go into this whole breakdown of the NFL, and all I do is sit over here and just give you smart aleck comments about all these players.
That's literally exactly what it is. By the way,
just about.
Look, I love being called Baby A. All right, off the show.
Weird.
You're calling me that. It's not. I'm not even the Captain Cool anymore.
No,
I'm just the Baby A.
No, and I've even wanted to talk to you. Is like, hey man, everything with the show is growing. The Captain Cool 420 Twitter handle. We may need to talk about that.
It's my birthday, bro.
Is your birthday really 420?
Yeah, it's 420.
January, February, March, April. Oh, dang.
That's like the reason why it's 420. Everybody thinks it's something else. I don't even like. Look,
I mean, what else could it be?
Hitler's birthday.
I mean, that wouldn't be the first person I throw out with who I share a birthday with, but I mean, okay. I mean, just an infamous dictator who killed millions of people. But I mean, hey,
it's one of the three things you think of, and let me tell you, they're not good at all. All right, and I'm not going to tell you the other two. So,
well, heck, I mean, how could they be worse than Hitler?
Okay, well, the over/under. Let's go. What do you think? The other thing people think of is, of course, 420, it's 420.
I mean, look, in 2024, it's really not even that bad anymore.
No, it's not that bad.
Really
we got like CBD stores all over the place.
Absolutely.
On top of that, though, it's actually my birthday's the 1 year anniversary. I don't even, the Columbine shooting. All right. Also happened on my birthday.
It's not the 1 year anniversary.
It was 1999 was the Columbine shooting. 2000 was when I was born. So that was the 1 year anniversary of the Columbine shooting. So like you can't equate to anything good. And then Tom's birthday is 9/11. So
yeah, and I actually thought that was a joke the other day.
No,
I didn't, mainly because his own child didn't even bring it up on the air. So I figured that, hey, that really wasn't the case.
Yeah, that's why I didn't sing happy birthday on that.
I mean, everybody in the state of Alabama knows that October 31st is not just Halloween. It is also whose birthday? God bless it, guys.
You know what?
It's Nick Saban's birthday.
Nick Saban.
Man. It's
Okay.
Nick Saban's
I was
birthday.
actually thinking of like some other dictator from Mexico, but I
mean,
believe
kind of.
the day after that's also my brother-in-law's birthday. So there's a lot of things that go into my head whenever I think of birthdays. But anyway,
but see, no, that's what I'm just saying is see, so this is weird because as we go along, obviously it's weird for me to call you John because for the first 3 years that I've known you, I never called you that.
That's true.
And so I'm like, okay, so I got to be like professional and say John, but like especially when we're doing the Sparkman football game, like I don't want to say Joe Hunk live on atop the Sparkman field with Baby A. Like you're a rapper. Like I don't, that doesn't really seem to go right.
Apparently, sometimes the Sparkman streams do sound like we're a bunch of rappers.
It does. It digitizes a little bit.
Yeah.
It puts us into some auto tune every once in a while. But hey, it's all part of that. This week we're going to be right across the street from our studio.
Gosh. Talk about a wonderful, wonderful week, guys.
Yeah, my wife asked me. She goes, "So what are you guys going to do since Joe Davis is like right there beside you?" I said, "I'm probably going to go take a nap somewhere."
Yeah, I'm going to be chilling out until we got to go over there, of course, for that great matchup that's going to be Sparkman versus Huntsville on Zone 4 as well as on Talk Radio. But on top of all of that, Joe.
By the way, I am researching. You also share the birthday with 3 or 4 extremely amazing celebrities.
Really?
That I know that you may not think of, but people in my generation absolutely think of. Actually,
Marilyn Monroe?
No, first off,
nope.
I shortchanged this. This is like 7 or 8. Okay, you've got an amazing birthday. 1, Carmen Electra.
Yeah. Pretty dope. She owns a football team in what is it? 2K NFL 2K5. Yeah,
that's exactly what I think of when I think of Carmen Electra. That right there is that Jessica Lange. Do you know who Jessica Lange is?
I'm not 100%.
Have you ever seen American Horror Story?
I've seen the first 4 episodes.
Okay, first 4 episodes. She's the older lady in the first 4 episodes. The
maid?
No, not the maid, but the neighbor.
Oh,
okay. There it is. It clicked with everybody. She also has reoccurring roles throughout every other season. But yes. All right, here we go. One of the Lawrence brothers, Joey Lawrence.
Okay.
Whoa. That guy, Blossom. I know you never watched it, but still, Joey Lawrence. You also have George Takei.
These really
Brian this afternoon will just scorn you for not knowing who George Takei is.
I feel so bad,
because he is a humongous Star Trek fan.
Oh, okay. Okay. So no. My buddy's also a huge Star Trek fan, but I never got all the actors right there. I know Spock.
What was it? Sulu?
Okay. There we go. Okay. And then here's this one, which it may not click with you. The name may not click.
I'm not good with names.
But when I start reading off the roles that he has played, this will hit. Okay. I feel like Bandy's going to know this one.
More cultured, maybe?
But no, just because I feel like it's more up his lane. Andy Serkis.
Yes.
Boom.
Andy Serkis.
I knew you would know. Andy Serkis. My precious.
Oh, yeah. No. I've never watched the whole Harry Potter series.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's...
Again! You did it again!
I knew we'd get something out of it. I knew we'd get a reaction.
You did it again!
Oh, my gosh. I love it. I love seeing the heat. I don't do it with Drew. I don't get him heated, but I can get you
How
heated.
did you? Because you don't disrespect Smeagol like that.
I always hated that.
No, look, see, here's what's crazy about this. He's not just Smeagol, okay? Because these are all, like, he has played Caesar in the new Planet of the Apes films.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, obviously, he's Gollum / Smeagol in this. He also plays Alfred in the new Batman.
Yep.
Okay. No, yeah. I know that.
Okay, so he also does that. Let me go, because
he's
what's his name Black Panther.
He's the Killmonger.
Useless. No,
the other guy.
First off, that's Michael B. Jordan. Killmonger's amazing.
The what is the guy?
Useless Claw.
Is it the Claw?
Klaue Claw.
I was actually thinking of Suicide Squad. He's the Boomerang dude.
No, he's not Boomerang.
He's the guy that blows up things.
No, he's not Boomerang on that either. Okay,
I've given the last 3 years.
He also plays Snoke in the new Star Wars movies.
Oh,
pity.
See, and
cashed in.
Yes, he's also in Age of Ultron. He is all in the Hobbits because of the fact that he is also Gollum.
Mm-hmm.
He also, I'll be like, this man is one of the most talented actors in Hollywood. And majority of his work is done in front of a green screen while he wears nothing but a CGI suit. Oh. You never see him. Like the Black Panther movie is one of the few times where you actually see him as the actor. Majority of the time, he's the acting, but through CGI.
I didn't know he was in Andor as well.
Yes.
Dang. All right.
He's in a lot. Whenever I see his face, okay, I think of the one Spider-Man villain that's in the woods. He's all for killing people. And
Craven?
Craven. That's what I think of when I see his face. And I don't even think he ever played Craven.
No, he has not played Craven because
it.
actually the guy that plays Craven was in the first Age of Ultron movie or in the first Avengers movie. And he was, it's not Silver Surfer, it's Quicksilver.
Yeah.
He is playing Craven in the new movie that's coming out.
Really?
Yes, he's bulked up. He's playing Craven. And now I don't know who voices Craven in Spider-Man 2. My son and I are going through that for a second time now. But yes, I could see because of they do look similar, but he's not scary enough to be Craven as far as the body and the person himself. So you actually have an awesome birthday.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not overshadowed by Hitler or some other.
And you chose Hitler.
You got to stop bringing that up in conversation.
Is it that big of a deal? I think it's a pretty interesting fact. Maybe it's because I like the dark humor to it. There's no dark humor to it. Well, there's a little bit of dark humor to it, but that's just my sense of humor at the end of the day.
Who wants to connect themselves to Hitler?
I definitely don't, but the thought of my birthday being worse than Tom's is pretty interesting, to say the least.
Dude, you have 17 family members. One or two of you are going to have a crappy birthday, okay? No. I mean, there's only 365 to choose from, and you guys are nailing a lot of the big ones.
I mean, there's a few more we can write off. I mean, get them in there.
We're going to knock out December 7th. I don't know if you guys want to hit anybody born in your family on that one.
No.
11/22. Is there anybody on that one?
No,
okay, so the Pearl Harbor bombings and JFK assassination is clear.
I'm glad.
Okay. All right. Fantastic.
Either way, we have a lot of sports to get into today. Don't get us wrong. All right. We like to get a little bit warmed up at the beginning of the show. On top of all of that, we did kind of touch on some of the high school football, of course, with Sparkman and Huntsville. It's going to be me and the Joe Hunk with Drew DeArmond over at Joe Davis. It's going to be a wonderful matchup. My first time actually getting inside of that stadium and getting to enjoy a sporting event. I wanted to go to some of the HCFC games. It just hasn't happened yet.
You got another one coming up, as a matter of fact.
Sweet. On top of that, Buckhorn is going to be at Lee on air with the Tom Abraham and John McGaw. On top of that, Madison Academy is back playing. Of course, they had a bye week last week. Now they're playing up against Madison County in a really good matchup on Zone 2. Bandy Man's back on Randolph and John Paul 2. That's going to be on Zone 3. And Westminster's facing off against the DAR, a.k.a.
Dar.
On Zone 5.
Dar.
And to cap off the night,
will always be Dar.
Of course, the Friday night scoreboard show with Scott Tyson, presented by, of course, Woody Anderson Ford, as well as Ace Hardware in Gunnersville. We have to hop into a break, guys. When we get back, we're starting the NFL talk hot as we look at that 22-21 win that the Falcons had last night. And on top of all of that, Bryce Young, the first round pick last year, has been benched officially, and Andy Dalton will start. That's what's coming up when we get back here on the Morning Blitz.
Already about to hit the halfway point. This is our high school streaming network. This week, week 4 features Buckhorn at Lee. Zone 2 features Madison Academy at Madison County. Zone 3 has the Randolph Raiders at Pope St. John Paul II. The Sparkman Senators will be on Zone 4. Plus, you can also hear it on Talk Radio 2 as well as on Talk Radio, with Huntsville taking on Sparkman. And Zone 5 features the Westminster Christian Academy Wildcats at DAR.
Hey folks, Bob Baumhauer here. Are you ready to enjoy another great football season with us here at Baumhauer's Victory Grill? Our special big game headquarters menu includes fan favorites such as our gooey char-grilled chicken and chips, Victory Caesar salad with your choice of char-grilled chicken, grilled whitefish, or shrimp. And you'll definitely want to tackle our gooey char-grilled chicken sandwich with a fresh mojo marinated boneless chicken breast topped with a Blanco cheese and bacon served with curly fries. Baumhauer's Victory Grill, legendary fun and legendary food.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. We're dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Once again, we're talking about plenty of sunshine. Temperatures going to be below average for late September. Highs only climbing into the low and mid-80s. We should be consistently climbing into the upper 80s. We're dropping into the mid-60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. We are going to be a little bit warmer across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Listen to the Bama Recap Show, presented by Lawler's Barbecue.
The tackle, Williams, 2 catches, 2 touchdowns, 2 electric early on.
97.7 ESPN The Zone.
As we continue, now we're all looking up our own birthdays to figure out who we share birthdays with, now that we've made fun of John's with his. And so, you know, Bandy was talking about how he has a birthday with Danny Elfman, who is like one of the greatest composers in movie history.
I'm surprised you went with Danny Elfman instead of JFK, because he also shares a birthday with that former president.
He does. He doesn't share a death day, but he does share a birthday with him as well. I share a birthday with Macaulay Culkin, Chris Pine. I hate James Harden, so not James Harden. I'm not even going to say it.
Still cool.
No, yeah, but no, not really. Mother Teresa's pretty awesome.
That's awesome, right?
That one's awesome.
Mother Teresa.
And also my wife's favorite actress, which is Melissa McCarthy.
Did you know that already?
No, I knew she was my favorite actress.
Okay.
But I had no idea that she was actually shared a birthday with me. What's really crazy is the death day, because I looked up August 26th as people that have died on August 26th.
Yeah.
Bob Barker
Oh.
and Sid Vicious, who just passed away like last week.
So
a couple weeks ago, because he died on my birthday.
Yeah. And you didn't know about that.
Had no idea.
You were too overshadowed by the cute cake that you got from your family and the
First
presents.
off, it's a cookie cake from Cookie Cake Company.
Oh
there are no other cakes that are acceptable for my birthday.
Okay.
It will be cookie cakes, and that is it.
Okay. I like the way you go there.
It is absolutely amazing. And I normally would love to share, but I eat it all before I even get to bring it in.
Yeah. Before your conscience, kicks in and tells you, maybe I should share. It's all right. I did that yesterday with crumble cookie. I had a peanut butter cookie that I just slammed in the span of probably 2 seconds. So I was hanging out with my brothers, but either way, we got some stuff to hop into.
Well, mainly because something happened last night. I don't think anybody thought, and that was the fact that the Falcons beat the Eagles.
Dude, is this team legit or what? I don't know.
Okay. No, before we even think about saying that this team is legit, let's not forget that the Philadelphia Eagles have lost 5 of the last 7 games.
Yeah.
Okay. Like they last year, they wrapped up the season last year with a loss to the 49ers, the Cowboys, the Seahawks before beating the Giants because everybody beat the Giants, then losing to the Arizona Cardinals and then turning around and losing to the Giants. They won week 1, but then they just lost again. So it's not like this team at one point in time, this team was one of the best teams in the NFL. And when I say one point in time, I mean like Thanksgiving of last year. This was considered one of the best teams in the NFL.
And what are they sent like 2-9 since then?
I mean, they've only won 2 games. Yeah, so they have lost. I mean, they have seriously lost. This is their 6th loss in 8 games.
And that's crazy because this is a team that also started undefeated for the longest run that they have last year. And that's the crazy thing about it all. And then just kind of fall apart at the end of the season. Come into this season, challenge this team and the Falcons, which, obviously had a little bit of a mishap last week, is it shows you why, you need to play some of these guys during the preseason. Okay. Obviously Kirk Cousins, it would have been a little nerve wracking if you kept him in there to have some traction with his players. Same could go for the Browns. A lot of teams in week 1 are going to struggle. And then they're kind of going to, figure out what they need to do with the playmakers that they got. They're going to understand their team a little bit more. And I think that's exactly what's happening with said Falcons. And I got to admit, Kirk Cousins wasn't really moving the ball too much at the beginning of this game. It was a low-scoring game. I was about to equate it to a pile of bird crap because they're both bird teams. I shouldn't have to explain it. But on the other hand, Saquon Barkley was continuing to go off. Devontae Smith was really showing out with the lacking of A.J. Brown in the wide receiver room. And Jalen Hurts was doing what Jalen Hurts does. He was opening up plays with his feet. He was getting the ball downfield to his playmakers. But at the end of the day, Bijan Robinson had a better game than Saquon Barkley on less attempts. Darnell Mooney, from a land unknown. This guy coming to this team, outplaying Drake London and Kyle Pitts. It's just these are the additions that this team has gotten in the last 2 years that are really setting on them up to be one of those top NFC teams. Now, it's a little early right now.
Oh, it's very early.
Yeah, way.
Very early.
I'm thinking I'm liking where this team is at least going in direction-wise.
Look, the problem is, go ahead.
No, I'm about to say, it was kind of a switch of topics, though, because I want to ask John specifically a question. What in the world is going on up in the AFC North?
Oh, jeez.
How are the Steelers the best team right now in the AFC North with the Bengals, with the Bengals and the Ravens starting 0-2?
I'll say this. All right. It's Mike Tomlin. It's not Justin Fields. It's Mike Tomlin. This Steelers team is pretty freaking bad, but you got to look at the 2 teams that they faced off against in week 1 and week 2. The Atlanta Falcons still trying to figure things out with their new quarterback and all their new pieces that they've added on. And then the Denver Broncos, who have a guy named Bo Nix, who I personally think is going to be a great quarterback when he finally gets into his own. But right now, he's struggling. This is an 0-2 Broncos team now. The Steelers are doing just enough, and that's all they need to do on defense. And then on offense, they're not turning it over too many times, so they're able to get the wins.
Unlike the Broncos.
13 points. Last week, they had 16 points. It's going to be one of the lowest scoring winning teams in the NFL, but regardless of that,
they're also about to come up against the Cowboys. They're also about to come up against the Chargers.
Oh, they're going to get destroyed.
Which, I mean, not saying the Cowboys may not be anything because what the Saints did to them is
literally making Derek Carr look like the best quarterback in the league. Yeah.
Oh no, I mean they weren't the only ones because Derek Carr's actually had 2 really good weeks so far. And even Raiders fans who have a great game manager, which was what Gardner Minshew is. I don't know what deal with the devil Gardner Minshew made, but Gardner Minshew is like the ultimate like backup quarterback that when he does get the opportunity to start, he's amazing. I don't know why. It's happened in Jacksonville. It's happened in Indianapolis. It's happening right now in Las Vegas. Like he actually won the job in Las Vegas, but for some reason teams just rally around the guy. I don't know. He's an amazing leader. He's not the most amazing quarterback. He's just smart.
Yeah, he makes the right decisions. And honestly, we kind of figured out that there was going to be a little bit of momentum behind this guy's career whenever he was in Jacksonville. Of course, played for the Colts last season. He had to start. He had to really, make it out because, of course, Anthony Richardson was injured in week 4. So he's got plenty of reps. He's probably the most utilized backup quarterback in all of the NFL. And it's really paying off now with the Raiders in their situation that they have because you had a choice, Aiden O'Connell or Gardner Minshew. And honestly, right now it's paying off with this Raiders team looking pretty good at 2-0. And for the Bengals, they just haven't really found their footing either. They had to go against the Patriots last week. Jacoby Brissett, He's kind of like a Geno Smith, having a little resurrection to his career, going back to the Patriots, finding some success. And it was just a bad game for the Bengals. Then to turn around and keep it close with the Chiefs in in middle time. That was one of those games where you're playing up against the reigning Super Bowl champs 2 times in a row. So it's going to be one of those games where maybe the script is going to be a little shifted. And also that pass interference at the end of the game definitely didn't help out. You know who else doesn't have any help and is not going to have any help probably for the rest of the season? And I feel so bad for it, but it's one Mr. Bryce Young. Alabama Heisman Trophy winner, first-round pick last season. The Panthers did everything to get this guy.
They did everything, including give up their number 1 wide receiver.
Yep.
They traded first-round draft picks, and they have gotten nothing to help him out in return at all.
I thought you were about to go into they did everything they could to help. I'm like, no, they did not.
They did everything they could to get him, and then they turned around and went, oh, crap, he doesn't have anybody.
Yeah.
It's like, it is him, and that's it.
Yeah. All right, Adam Thielen, get in there.
Yeah, you got to, it's practically all he's trying to throw to right now is he hasn't really been able to even get him the ball. But after going 2-18, all right, he is now second string behind Andy Dalton. And I feel like it's finally gotten to the point where it's like, okay, maybe we don't want to ruin this guy's career completely until we get this team up to snuff. And by putting Andy Dalton in, you have one of the oldest quarterbacks in all of the NFL right now, 36 years old, compared to a 23-year-old. Now, we saw Bryce Young kind of sit behind him last year. Of course, Andy Dalton was able to show him a few things. Now it's time for Andy Dalton to actually
that's the problem.
Care of this team. Maybe that's the problem.
Don't let Andy Dalton teach you how to do anything.
Maybe
that man has never been a winner. He had everywhere. He did win at TCU. He did go to the Rose Bowl at TCU.
Look, he was decent at the Bengals.
He may have been. I think he got to like 1 or 2 playoffs with the Bengals. Maybe that.
He never won a playoff game.
But this the Bengals until Joe Burrow. They hadn't done that. And then now, everywhere else he's gone, the Cowboys. He's been awful. But don't let him teach you how to do anything. That man is horrible.
I think that this will probably be a better quarterback than what we've seen in Bryce Young, just because the decision-making might be a little bit quicker. You're losing a little bit of mobility in Andy Dalton, but at the same time, you're getting a veteran presence that's going to be able to finally kind of pick apart, what he needs to on that offense. Do I think it's going to be better? Just a little bit. It's probably not going to be much. I'd like to hear your guys' opinions on it as well. 256-5764
97.7
is the number to get in. But guys, Bryce Young, we talk about his mobility. All right. Last year, he rushed for 253 yards. All right. That's not, that's decent. It's not a rushing quarterback number like we've seen with the 1,000+ yard seasons from Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. But he was also sacked 62 times last season. And Bandy, if you know anything about the number 62, there's a lot of quarterbacks that kind of reach that number at the end of the season, and they're on a bad list of the most in all of the NFL. Now, some have been sacked more, but
almost 4 sacks a game.
He also
it's almost 4 sacks a game.
He also completely negated the 253 yards because by getting sacked 62 times, he also lost 477 yards in those sacks. He had 11 touchdowns and 13 interceptions throughout his career. C.J. Stroud's QBR last season was 57.5. Bryce Young's 33.4. In 2024, C.J. is right now at 63. Bryce Young's at 9.1. That is a single-digit number for a QBR. A QB that is starting. Bryce Young's yards per games last season was 179.8. 122 in 2024. Stroud's was a league-leading 273.9 behind Kirk Cousins and injured and another quarterback in the form of Joe Flacco. Neither of those guys played the full season. And also, on top of that, you guys look at what the Panthers gave up for this pick. Of course, you get the first-round pick. You get Darnell Wright, offensive lineman. Started 17 games last year. This is a starting rookie. Now he's in his second season. He's got the reps. He's a playmaker now. He's going to help out this quarterback that they just brought in Caleb Williams. On top of that, their second-round pick was a cornerback in Tyreek Stevenson. Last year, he started 16 games. He had 16 pass breakups and 4 interceptions. This is yet another starter that is helping bolster this Bears team. Why do you think they look so decent? I'm not going to say they look so good. On top of that, DJ Moore, like Joe said, 96 receptions last season. It was the most he's ever had. On top of that, 1,364 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns, and this past offseason, he signed an extension of $110 million. Let's just say he's a little bit happier in his career now than he was when he was with that Panthers organization. Golly. So how do you guys feel about Bryce Young?
So Bryce Young right now, I'm looking at his contract first off, because that's where I'm going to go with this, is the fact that over the course of the next 2 seasons, he is going to be owed almost $23 million. Now that's broken down into 10.4 and 12.1 million per season. Okay. The question is going to be, if you are Carolina, the one thing that you need to do is you need draft picks.
Yeah.
Like, you absolutely need draft picks. Okay. You've got your own 1, you've got a 2, you've got some 5s, 6 and 7s, and like those can work out, but you definitely need difference makers today. And so the idea, especially early on in this season, is trading Bryce Young. That absolutely needs to be this decision.
Could be like a Trey Lance situation.
And so that's where I start looking at this going, okay, who are going to be free agents in 2025? The only reason I go down and start looking at this list is because I start thinking to myself, is there a team that is potentially looking at losing a quarterback, and they're wanting to go ahead and bring somebody like a Bryce Young in that they could start working with? And for instance, you look at what's happening in Minnesota. I know you have JJ McCarthy there. He's injured. He's done for the year. Do you want to try to bring him in? Yeah. That's a potential landing spot. The other potential landing spot, in all seriousness, is New England. The only reason I say it is because Jacoby Brissett is going to be a free agent at the end of this year. Yes, I know that they have guys behind him, including a former Tennessee quarterback that looked extremely good in the preseason, but do you bring Bryce Young in with that offense? It's a heavy run offense, and you be able to let him grow a little bit that way. You're not going to send him to Minnesota because your backup quarterback is going to be available. The Giants are the exact same way, unless you're just wanting to get rid of Daniel Jones, which that should actually be the trade, is Bryce Young for Daniel Jones. Because Drew Lock is also going to be a free agent at the end of the year. Those are the types of teams that would be potentially suited for this. But and honestly, probably the smartest landing spot would either be the New York Giants or the New England Patriots, because if you're Bryce Young, and I know you don't have a no trade clause in this, but you need to get out of Carolina. There are 0 weapons that can help you out. There are 0.
I totally agree.
Okay, because the thing about him is the same thing that we're saying about Will Levis in 2024. With Will Levis, you have all these weapons around you. The reason that this team has lost the 2 games that they have lost so far this season is because Will Levis has made mistakes, not because he doesn't have players to throw to, because he has a fantastic set of skill players he can throw to. So now this is on Will Levis. For Bryce Young, you don't know what he is as a quarterback other than way too thin and way too short. That's all that you know about him.
5'10".
I mean, he's like 5'10", and I want to say that's in cleats. And I'm not trying to be funny. We have seen him at SEC Media Days. He is an amazing position player when it comes to playing the quarterback position. But height-wise, there are players that are his height that are great quarterbacks, and the only reason they did not make it to a Power 5 school is because they were too short. Bryce Young is not the height that you want a quarterback to be in the NFL. The average height for a quarterback in the NFL is 6'3". Bryce, I mean, right now, that is almost 6 full inches taller than what Bryce Young is. Yeah. The average weight for a quarterback in the NFL right now is 225. That is almost 20 pounds heavier. Now, Bryce Young needs to put weight on, because when you have a 320-pound defensive lineman coming at you and about to eat you for dinner, he is going to pick Bryce Young up and eat him like a drumstick. And I'm not joking. That's what happens with him. He needs protection. And he needs skill position players. Chuba Hubbard's not it. Thielen is a fantastic slot guy, but only when he has help on the outside. He doesn't have that.
Yeah. And also, I forgot to mention that the Bears also get a 2025 second-round pick from that draft, or from that trade that went on. But either way, I digress. Kyler Murray's also the same height, and look at what he's doing with the Cardinals. We got to hop into a break. When we get back, Ben McGee from Go Vols 24/7 is going to be joining us to talk a little bit of Tennessee, as they have a difficult challenge coming up right around the corner, and we will too here on the Morning Blitz.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Hey folks, this is Arthur Seaton, managing partner at University Kia, proudly saying Roll Tide and War Eagle. Stop into University Kia today and shop one of the area's largest selection of new Kias, including Fortes, Seltos, Telluride, and Popular Carnival, and fully electric EV6. View all the great specials at universitykia.com and get pre-approved in minutes so you can drive home your new Kia you really want, because we want to see you in a University Kia.
Tired of the same old menu options everywhere you go? Then you need to try Metro Diner in Huntsville and Madison. The award-winning Metro Diner serves up signature dishes like their Charleston shrimp and grits, famous fried chicken and waffles with strawberry butter, and lots more. Their entire menu is available anytime, breakfast, lunch, or dinner. And stop by for brunch on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy the lowest price mimosas in town. Airport Road, Huntsville, and Highway 72 in Madison. In diner or at home, make it Metro Diner.
Hey, mister, won't you sell me a fake ID? There's a band in the bar that I'm dying to see. I got my money and you got what?
Yeah, you guys gotta kind of rein me in every once in a while, because I'm just gonna get on a tangent, and this is just gonna roll.
Yeah, I left no time for you to talk though, and I should. So it's all good.
It just happens. Now, as we're talking, we literally started this show off by me trying to get John to change his Twitter handle, X handle, from Captain Cool 420, and we found out that it was his birthday. His dad's birthday just happened to be a few days ago, which was September 11th.
Never forget.
I say that because right now my chair is sinking down for some weird reason, and as I am talking, Ben McKee joins us, whose birthday was also on September 11th. How's it going, bro?
It's going great. I appreciate the birthday recognition. Happy birthday to you and yours as well. And I appreciate y'all having me on this morning.
Hey, no problem at all, Ben. I was telling these guys because obviously this is one of the first times that they've gotten to talk to you about this. But I said, hey, look, let's get Ben McKee on, because you and I kind of bonded over this a few months ago out at the Nashville Super Speedway. The fact that you are a Buckhorn alum.
That's right. Go Bucks. Fear the deer. I've gotten to the point now to where I don't like to mention when I graduated, which was in 2013. I can't believe it's already been 11 years. My 10-year high school reunion was last spring, and my goodness, do I feel old. But a proud Buckhorn alum. My parents still live right down the road off of Winchester, and that's where I met my wife. So it's I'm a proud Buckhorn alum. Go Bucks, fear the deer, baby.
Well, and I only bring that up because Friday night they did play Hazel Green, and that's how you and I got this conversation going a few months ago, because my son goes to Hazel Green. I live in Hazel Green, and yes, the Bucks did beat Hazel Green 29-7 on Friday night.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. That's the best thing that I will hear today. That is by far the best thing that I will hear today. Hazel Green, by far the school I dislike the most. Madison County right there next to it, but Hazel Green, I couldn't stand those guys when we played some baseball.
Yeah, see, so and now we're talking about this, and I turn around and I go, wait a second, how's that the best thing when you have a team that you're covering that decides that they just want to do onside kicks when they're up by like 50-something points? Like, how is Buckhorn beating Hazel Green not funnier than what you saw on Saturday?
That's a fair point. I now in hindsight, I wish Buckhorn would have broke out some onside kicks as well. Called some timeouts under 30 seconds. Made sure that Hazel Green had to sit there and stew in its loss as well. So it was. I was surprised. My jaw literally dropped in the press box on Saturday night at Neyland Stadium when Josh Heupel elected to onside kick the football. It was in the pregame plans. They were planning on rolling with an onside kick regardless of the score. going into the football game. They wanted to get it on tape, so other teams had to be aware of it. Now, I almost kind of wonder, why would you want teams to recognize that you can execute an onside kick and might prefer to go to an onside kick, and now they're going to make sure that their special teams and kickoff unit is shored up in that regard. But it was interesting. I had not seen a decision quite like that, and I think college football fans across the board were very surprised. But I guess when Kent State can't snap the football and they can't snap other things, maybe it's on them. Maybe they should shore up their kickoff team to make sure that they're not having a lapse there to where teams can take advantage of that.
Yeah, you got to practice the onside kick against actual opponents someday. But 191-13 is how Tennessee has been playing against opponents. Now they're going into SEC play. All right. Me and Joe were also covering Sparkman football. They're playing a little bit of tougher opponents at the beginning of the season. That's the opposite of what this Tennessee team has done. Of course, NC State was ranked, but of course didn't look as legit as other people said, or maybe Tennessee's just looking that good. But looking at this Oklahoma game, how do you think these first three games have kind of helped set this team up a little bit for the Sooners?
Yeah, I think that's a fair thought, wondering how good Tennessee's schedule has been to this point. And that, to me, is the $1 million question. And that was a question that I even posed coming out of the NC State win last week in week 2 is Tennessee this good, or is NC State and Chattanooga not as good as we thought? And obviously there's a different level of competition between Chattanooga and NC State, but Chattanooga, an FCS playoff team last year, and they have high hopes again this year. They did turn around and only lose by 3 at Georgia State in week 2, which Georgia State beat Vanderbilt last weekend. So maybe there's something there to being Tennessee just being this good. Now, I don't think NC State really turned around and had a great performance against Louisiana Tech this past weekend, and I do believe that Grayson McCall was missing from a good portion of that football game. But I do tend to think that Tennessee is just that good. I think they are one of the best teams in the country. I think they're a true national title contender, but they have some games coming up. This game on Saturday, obviously at Oklahoma, they'll have a bye week, and then they go to Arkansas, and then they come back home and play Florida and Alabama back-to-back at home. We're going to learn a lot about this football team, obviously. I think they have the pieces to go really make the playoffs and do something of significance, because I'm a big believer in Tennessee's defensive front. They just rotate in one guy after the next. I mean, it is littered with talent and depth, and I think Nico Iamaleava is the real deal, and I think they have several playmakers on offense as well. But their ability to run the football and their ability to stop the run, I think it starts there, and I think that alone is going to win them a lot of football games this year.
Ben McKee joining us from Go Vols 247, and we actually just had some news breakout this morning from Adam Sparks. Just kind of wanted your take on this news with the University of Tennessee now going to be increasing football ticket prices and the required donations that accompany them by an average of 14.5% in 2025, with most of the new costs going toward a talent fee to pay players. I just kind of want your initial reaction to this kind of news.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it stinks for the fans, right? Like it's already expensive enough to go 2 games, and now it is going to be even more expensive, which is not ideal with how expensive everything is nowadays. But to me, it's almost a necessary evil, because Tennessee is going to be one of the schools that opts in to the revenue sharing model, to where it is going to directly pay for players. And I mean, that's going to be a hefty amount of money that it is going to have to pay, not only to players directly, but also paying for scholarships as well as they have been doing. But to me, this is a smart, innovative way to get ahead of the curve. And I know it's frustrating for fans. I don't like it, but I understand it. I understand that, again, it's a necessary evil, and it's a way for Tennessee to make sure that they are fulfilling their responsibilities in terms of paying athletes. And if to me, it boils down to fans have always griped, well, we'll just pay the players, especially now in the NIL era. Well, now they will be directly paying for players, and this is kind of the consequence for doing so. Yeah. And this is their way of, not that they necessarily want to help, but this is their way of chipping in, and Tennessee making sure that it is leaving no stone uncovered, trying to check off all the boxes and being very innovative. Tennessee is the first school to do this and implement a talent fee to where it'll go straight to the athletes. And I'm sure a lot of schools will follow, just like you saw with the branding rights agreement with Neyland Stadium, not changing the name, but having the logo on the field, having the Pilot logo on the press box. I think a lot of schools in the country are going to follow suit in that manner as well, especially like Bryant-Denny Stadium. You're never going to change the name of that stadium, but you also, in today's day and age of college athletics, need to be able to bring in money. So how can we bring in money, a significant amount of money, while also honoring our history, tradition, not changing names? And I think you're going to see schools follow suit in that regard as well. So it's unfortunate that ticket prices are increasing when they're already expensive. I truly do hate it for the fans, but I do think this is a smart way to make sure that you are setting yourself up to continue to win on the field. Because at the end of the day, I think fans will be very loud today. Fans are already loud on my message board at GoVols247.com and also in my Twitter mentions at the moment. But I think if Tennessee can parlay this into a SEC championship, a national championship, which they are setting themselves up to do with their resources, then I think fans will be very quiet when that championship rolls around.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And I mean, you're paying for the product. I mean, that's just how it is. This Tennessee product is looking pretty damn good. And on top of that, you're making sure the players are getting paid, unlike what they're doing in Oklahoma State, where they're just putting QR codes on the back of their helmets. I don't think that's going to work as well as they thought, but you know what? To each their own. Joe?
No, and now I have the question about, obviously, we all know what this weekend is about with Oklahoma. Josh Heupel is already talking about it. I appreciate the fact that he kind of has a little bit of just he understands that this crowd may be a little bit more fired up in it. But outside of the emotion that is going into this game, what problems are Oklahoma going to bring to this that could hurt Tennessee or cause Tennessee to lose this game?
Yeah, I think it's all on the defensive side of the football. I would be surprised if Tennessee's defense struggles against Oklahoma's offense. Oklahoma's offense has had a rough go of it to start the season. There is certainly talent on that side of the ball for the Sooners. Jackson Arnold, he appears like he is going to be a big-time quarterback at some point, but he's still inexperienced, and he hasn't gotten a lot of help around him. They've been banged up. Oklahoma has along the offensive line. Sounds like the starting center and right tackle are very questionable for Saturday night's game, and that doesn't sound too good for Oklahoma, considering Tennessee's defensive front that it is going to have to deal with. And then at receiver, they've had some of their top receivers, or their top singular receiver, banged up. They're hoping to get him back this weekend, but they've been unable to execute on the perimeter as well and make plays down the football field. It's been a rough go offensively for Oklahoma, and their defense has had to step up and win them games and come up with timely forced turnovers to make sure that they do win that game. So Tennessee's defense looks like it's primed for success on Saturday night. The challenge to me will be Tennessee's offense, because Oklahoma's defense is very good. And up front, can they block? Can they protect Nico? Can they give him time to push the football down the field? And again, as I said earlier, I think Tennessee's running game and its ability to stop the run is what this team is going to do best this season. Will that translate against a good Oklahoma defensive front in their building? That is going to be a crazy environment. College football at its best. It'll be very loud in Norman on Saturday night. Will that running game translate against a really stout defense that has a lot of future NFL players on it? So that to me is the big question mark. I don't think Tennessee's going to go in there and get shut down in the run game. That would be surprising to me, but they're also not going to do what they did to Chattanooga or Kent State this past weekend. Tennessee's already run for over 1,000 yards on the season just off of 3 football games. So I don't know that they're going to have that much success, but I also don't think that they're going to get shut down. To me, that that is a big time matchup that will help dictate this football game. Is that stout Oklahoma defense against a young quarterback and an offense that's been clicking fairly well to start the year. Who wins that matchup? Because I think there's some question marks on Tennessee's offense that they're still trying to figure out. They're not necessarily concerns, but it's more along the lines of you're just trying to figure out how good Nico is going to be this year. How good actually is this running game? How good are the receivers going to be? Going back to that first question of how legitimate is this start for Tennessee because of some of the opponents that they've played. We're still learning about Tennessee, although we think that they're going to be really good. So that to me is the challenge, the one challenge that I think Oklahoma will pose outside of the environment itself is that stout defense that has played well to start the year, unlike their offense.
But look, bro, we absolutely appreciate it, man. Thank you for hopping on with us today. I know you got a busy rest of your week getting ready to pay attention to Tennessee, Oklahoma, man. I appreciate you hopping on and just having a little bit of fun with you. I hadn't talked to you in a minute, man.
Absolutely. Always good to hear from you, my friend. Glad you're doing well.
You too,
and happy to join y'all anytime. Appreciate y'all having me.
All right, man. Thanks, Ben McKee. He is Ben McKee of Go Vols 247. You can follow him on X at Ben McKee 14. And obviously, he joined us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. And don't forget, kickoff is at 6:30, and you'll be able to listen to that on ESPN Winchester right there, as Bob Kessling will have the call for you. We'll continue quickly when we come back here on the Morning Blitz.
Next time you're online looking for landscaping inspiration, open Instagram and check out Southern Gent Landscaping. They can help make your yard your dream outdoor oasis. Southern Gent Landscaping can handle it all, from landscape maintenance and installation to irrigation and hardscapes, even AstroTurf. Turn your yard into a landscape you'll be proud to show off. Call Southern Gent Landscaping at 256-509-6088. 509-6088. Southern Gent Landscaping. Professional landscaping performed with satisfaction guaranteed.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
I like the way that John's just kind of just dancing to it. Some Notorious as he's sitting over here like it's hardball or something. And then that music just abruptly just slams against the wall. We go from like it when you call us Big Papa to getting ready for this second hour, which is going to have our dog of the week. We're going to be wanting to know what your fantasy is. Not in that way. We'll explain if you haven't heard it before. The NFL rundown as well. We got a ton of stuff that we are getting into second hour. And of course, phone lines are always open to you at 256-5764-97.7. And the Morning Blitz always brought to you by Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
The guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, make sure you look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up just like us in the second hour. We'll see you guys over there.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Looking for your next adventure to be out of this world but don't have enough money to buy a spaceship and leave orbit? Well, look no further than Divergence VR theme park off of Governor's Drive Southwest in Huntsville, Alabama. Are zombies more your style? How about driving your favorite cars on the world's fastest track? Or maybe a gorilla game that has you climbing up tall trees to escape other gorillas? Wait, that's actually a thing? Huh. Would you look at that? For whatever adventure you can dream of, call 256-203-4128 to get your VR adventure started now.
You need a lawyer and pick up the phone. I'm attorney Gary Lackey. When you call for a lawyer, where does that phone ring? My phone rings in my office.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. My phone rings in my office too.
So does mine. I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. And when you've been hurt and need help, we're the ones who take your call.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
Looking for your next adventure to be out of this world but don't have enough money to buy a spaceship and leave orbit? Well, look no further than Divergence VR theme park off of Governor's Drive Southwest in Huntsville, Alabama. Are zombies more your style? How about driving your favorite cars on the world's fastest track? Or maybe a gorilla game that has you climbing up tall trees to escape other gorillas? Wait, that's actually a thing? Huh. Would you look at that? For whatever adventure you can dream of, call 256-203-4128 to get your VR adventure started now.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Everwood, the official treated lumber of Alabama athletics. Everwood, wood treated right. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here's more from head coach Kalen DeBoer following Alabama's win against Wisconsin.
Everything's a first, right? Going on the road was our first time together with our staff, and thought the guys did a nice job. I was happy, obviously, with the outcome, but also just the process and everything leading up to it and how the weekend went. So I thought they had a great balance of high energy, passion, emotion, but not being over emotional, and having a business-like mindset, and going and just knowing that it was going to be you versus a great crowd there, and thought we did a nice job, just staying the course and made the plays, got the momentum on our side, especially there in the second quarter. The end of the half especially was a big deal, and I preach to the guys, keep playing, keep believing, and things will come your way. We're athletic enough. We got playmakers, and that's exactly what happened. Getting the stop, getting the field goal attempt, and flipping that around in 36 seconds or whatever it was. And
I'll have more in moments.
Producing championship quality lumber is not an easy process, but at Everwood Preserving, it's our only process. Wood treated right. Everwood offers top-notch pressure-treated wood for decks, outdoor structures, commercial jobs, and more that you can build your reputation on. When it comes to quality, we're on the winning team. Visit your local Everwood dealer today and discover the difference for yourself. Everwood Preserving Incorporated, the official lumber of the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Join us this afternoon for Crimson Drive, driven by NASCAR, streaming live at 2 p.m. Central on all CTSN social media platforms. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Everwood. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Check out VSiN's catalog of original podcasts, daily and weekly programming to keep you in the know when you're on the go. Only at VSIN.com. Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
And back foot throw. Caught Mooney. 15, 10, Darnell 5. Waltzes into the end zone.
The call on Falcons radio, 22-21, the win over the Eagles last night in Philadelphia. Kirk Cousins led a last-minute drive for the Falcons. It connected with Drake London on a 7-yard touchdown with 34 seconds left to win it. Jalen Hurts had his final pass intercepted by Jesse Bates to seal Atlanta's win. Philadelphia was favored by 5.5 heading in. The under was 43. Atlanta paid plus 198 on the upset. Both teams are 1-1 with the result. The Falcons host the Chiefs Sunday night. The Eagles visit New Orleans. That's the VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. I'm Chuck Sanders.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly sunny sky this afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-80s. We're dropping into the lower 60s as we head into the overnight, early into your Wednesday morning. A fantastic Wednesday afternoon. Once again, we're talking about plenty of sunshine. Temperatures going to be below average for late September. Highs only climbing into the low and mid-80s. We should be consistently climbing into the upper 80s. We're dropping into the mid-60s through the overnight. A partly sunny sky for your Thursday. We are going to be a little bit warmer across the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures climbing into the mid and upper 80s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 977ESPN.com.
3, 2, 1.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, Bailey Lowery, 256-576-4977. This is the Morning Blitz.
Second hour of the Morning Blitz. Come see you guys live from No Man's Land. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside Joe Hunk and the bandy man Bailey Lowery, keeping us on the airways and taking your calls at 256-5764-977. And that's how you can get onto the show and talk with us. But if talking on a radio show is not exactly what you want to do, you can go and check us out over on WZZN TV on YouTube and utilize that chat box to the left of us three. Now, we got into a lot of fun conversation in the first hour, of course, hopped into a little bit of the NFL talk, talked about the craziness that was Monday Night Football and Saquon Barkley dropping that football, which we didn't really talk too much about. But we talked about the Falcons and how this team might be able to, move forward with a little bit of momentum. On top of that, we also got into a little bit of conversation with our guest, Ben McGee from Go Vols 247, which great first-time guest, I got to say. That was Joe's suggestion, and honestly, we do like to talk with Ryan Sylvia, but it's always good to get a different perspective from that team because there's a lot to like, and there's also a lot to talk about with them.
Look, we're not cheating.
No, we're not cheating.
It's various opinions on things.
Ryan,
like you don't have to have just one guy. Yeah. You can have multiple guys. Okay, it's just it doesn't have to just be one. We're good. Yeah. We can have a variety of people.
Sorry, I don't think Ryan's listening to the show right now, so he won't even know that we had another Tennessee guest on. Either way, Ryan,
you cheat on me. Yeah, I know. Like spider senses are going off. Like they had somebody else. It's like somebody else. It happened. I felt it.
I would say more like a dog. Like a dog sniffing another dog on another human. When you come back home and your dog's just like,
sorry, we're sniffing another butthole. We apologize.
Yeah, we apologize.
Whoa! You can't say that on the radio.
You can't when your dogs do that.
Yeah, but I don't think you can. Can you say that? Because I think I said it once or twice, and I know those are the two words. No, let it ride. It's all right. Let it ride. I'm just look. All right, Joe. I've been through it, man. I'm just trying to throw this at you. All right.
I appreciate it. I mean, I didn't know it was wrong. I didn't know it was wrong.
I think the one thing you could say is what Drew likes to say, and I'm not going to say it just because we already had one.
They're two words that separately are not bad.
But I was like, every single time you say anything that is around those two cheeks, that's something that I guess is just a no-go on the radio.
Okay, so we can't go around the two cheeks.
Yeah,
no, we can't. We got to go through them.
Okay, you can't. So you got to go around. You got to go through. Like straight up the middle, just like Tennessee's offense last year, just straight up the middle all the time.
Just
straight up the middle through the hole. Just straight up.
No, not through the hole. You can't say
you gotta
that.
hit the hole.
No, you go past the hole. You don't just totally stay out of the valley. Golly. I was wondering when we were going to break. All right. 3 weeks into the show. This is the second week full on.
You don't understand the ability I have to dance around stuff. Like you just don't understand.
Oh, you didn't dance around anything.
Oh, no. I danced right on top of it. Okay.
I'm crying.
I mean, I did. Okay. Now, speaking of dogs, dog of the week.
Randy's too busy drinking his Gatorade. He can't even use the sounder.
It's because I am the sounder. Because, again, you guys said that sounder wasn't good. I need to get a better one.
Wait. Okay, so everybody quiet. That was the sounder. I feel like we got to talk to the deep voice man and try and get something set up. Maybe even talk with the big dog himself, and maybe he can do some barks for us, but I don't think that man barks for anybody. Either way, I want to hop into some of these dogs of the week, all right? Because it's an idea where we all throw out our own guys that we think overperformed over the weekend, whether it's high school, college, NFL, and I think we got a little bit of everything for you guys this week. And then you guys the listeners are also able to throw in your opinions. 256-5764
977
is the number to hop in on the programming. Joe Hunk, I'm going to let you go first, brother, because I think last time I went first because you set this thing up. But I hear you're going an interesting route.
All right, yeah. So I'm actually going to go NFL on this one. So, we focus, and I've focused a lot on college football the last couple of weeks. So this time I'm going straight NFL on this. So 4 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Got to be talking about one guy and one guy only.
That was Marvin Harrison Jr.'s stat line in the first quarter against LA this week. In the first quarter.
Golly.
That was it. That was 8 targets, 4 catches, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns. That was it. Okay. 41-10 is what Arizona eventually beat the Rams in. Marvin Harrison Jr., that is my dog of the week right there. Went ahead and got the Cardinals up 14-0 before the Rams even thought about scoring a touchdown.
I got to admit, seeing Marvin Harrison Jr. actually succeed in only his second game in the NFL was pretty impressive, okay? Coming out of Ohio State, of course, being questionable about maybe being a Heisman Trophy winner at the end of the season. Didn't happen, but at the end of the day, comes into the NFL, and he's helping this Cardinals team succeed. And honestly, it's making us think a little bit less of Xavier Howard, or sorry, what's the, oh, geez, I already forgot.
Xavier Worthy?
Xavier Worthy. There's so many Xaviers now. Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs coming into the NFL and, of course, succeeding in his first game. But now we get to see a little bit more of Marvin Harrison Jr. Kyler Murray, he struck gold. He's got a wide receiver that reminds me a little bit of Larry Fitzgerald, and that's pretty baller status. Bandy, who you got for a dog of the week, brother?
You know what? I'm going to go to the high school level. I'm going to say one Mr. Graham Beatty from last week for the Randolph Raiders, because what we got.
Just look.
The phone.
We can't ask people to call in and then go to him when the phone line starts ringing. So that means that we've got to go now and pivot.
But he's putting him on hold. So look at that. That's a producer right there.
That's a producer.
All right, now he's on hold. But Graham Beatty for the Randolph Raiders, more than 2 touchdowns.
Nice.
Raiders go-to option on the ground against Westminster Christian. And my God, like in the pouring rain, did they make the run game work? Yeah. Explosive plays all around. And I'm kind of mad because I've been looking for stats all over. Like during the course of the show, I've been looking for stats over here from that game. And not a single site I have seen is carrying the stats. Only the final score.
Yeah, there's a reason because of that. I mean, Randolph just needs to get somebody out there to do all the stats for all their players that are succeeding.
I'm going to start doing it manually when I'm up there now.
Yeah. You got to get your color commentator to do it. Either way.
By the way,
good pickup.
Just an insane performance from Graham Beatty to lead the Raiders to a dominant region win.
Huge win over the Westminster Wildcats. What a great game that was. So I'm going to go to the college scene, and there were 2 quarterbacks that I was thinking about getting in this wacky underdog picks. One of them, I have to admit, pretty impressive. It was Arch Manning, of course. He was 9 of 12, 223 yards, 4 touchdowns. His first start. He gets to play in this game, and well, not really a start, but he was in this game, and he actually succeeded pretty well. And I got to say, looking forward, it's pretty terrifying to look at this Texas team and Arch Manning combination. There's a question out there about, should Quinn Ewers start for the rest of the season when he gets back? There's definitely going to be room for him to start as Arch Manning still has a few more years of eligibility. But I'm actually going to go with the one, Mr. Jalen Milroe. I feel like we haven't talked about him enough, and I feel like he needs a little bit of credit where credit is due. And I got to admit, what he was able to do against the actual college football team in the form of that Wisconsin Badgers squad was quite impressive, to say the least. He had 3 touchdowns in the air and 2 touchdowns on the ground, including 196 yards passing and 75 yards rushing. Let's get into Jeff from the Borough. Jeff, how you doing, brother?
Well, guys, I just want to say, I saw this story online a few minutes ago.
Okay.
Tennessee starting in 2025 is going to increase their ticket prices.
Yep.
I'm assuming for all athletics, 14.5%. It says 4.5% is going for construction, food, and travel.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's going to be a talent fee to, I guess, NIL stuff.
Yep.
So I guess construction must cost a lot for that wood over in Knoxville build stuff. It must be going way up. But food must be, and my hot dog must went up about $5, about $30 a hot dog over to the ball games there.
Yeah.
Ads must be paying $30 for a hot dog. So and everything. But,
Yeah. I mean, this
all
college
that stuff.
price is going to get up there. And on top of that, they're making renovations to Neyland Stadium. They're going to need that money.
The whole thing.
Well, they've already come out to. They're gonna say the name is that the Habs they don't own anymore, but Pile they own that Pile at all the gas stations in Knox. Most of them in Knox. We got a couple.
Jimmy, good old Jimmy has them.
A couple of Merce for a while there, but his brother Bill was the governor of our state for a while, and a real good governor. Dad, I wouldn't trust the rest of Haslam as far as I can throw them, but I'll trust Bill Haslam. I don't trust the rest of them. Well, one of them owns the Cleveland Browns, so he ain't got no sense. He ain't got no brain anyway.
Damn
right. But they said that they're gonna save the Inland Stadium name. I don't know how anybody wants to steal it. Anybody wants to steal that name, but they gonna save it for some bit. They say it was a general or something. I think it's General Oreo double stuff and Chips Ahoy cookies. That's what his general of. Maybe Nutter Butters or something. But they didn't want to have naming rights to their stadium. Yet they'll call their basketball arena TBA, which I call it Fat Cat Arena. Those two fat cats paid for it. So they won't name it after Pat Summitt, as opposed to one of the greatest women's college basketball. They stand the floor after the Summit. Yeah. It's like Coach K, Court, and rest of them. Like Alabama did Saban Field. See, if Saban's so great, you name the stadium after him. You don't do this field business. If I say him, I tell you, hell no. I just say, hell no, maybe I'm going to stay him. I ain't going to fool with you. That's why I tell them to. Yeah. You have all them championships I won for your ass. You want to name a field after my ass? You crazy. You crazy. Get the hell out.
Okay, but real quick, that's because the stadium itself was named after another one of the greatest college football coaches of all time.
Yeah.
What is the other guy? Is that guy that Denny's Restaurant name it? Who's Denny? Who's that? Is Denny's Restaurant he part of it too? Denny's Restaurant?
He was also part of Kentucky. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm not saying, but Kentucky was Commonwealth Stadium, so and they got naming rights to it. That's okay. So we've got ours. We named it after great coach Rupp Arena, Adolph Rupp. And Coleman Coliseum was when Bear Bryant was AD because he thought he could put a good product. All he's worried about is making money. He wasn't worried about winning no ball game in basketball. So we all know that. But no, I do want to say, guys, we're going to have a press conference this afternoon at 1:30 Eastern time. In Lex, we're going to shut down our football program because we didn't go for it on 3rd and 8. That you guys bash and beat. Mark Steve tell him he can't do nothing. And Drew Young, he knows all about football. But I want to ask Drew about what's Bryce Young going to do? His name is he is 2-16 as a starter, the worst as a starter in NFL history, and we're number 1 pick. Tommy, it's on Bryce Young's career right now. He had a good career so far.
No,
we've talked because the Carolina Panthers have proven to be one of the worst teams in NFL history.
Bryce Young sucks, and so does what's his name? What's the other guy? What's his name? The other quarterback.
If you're going to tell me Tua sucks, we're just going to Is Tua going to retire? He's going to keep playing.
No, he's going to keep playing. That's what he said at least.
He says he's going to keep playing.
He can get his brain kicked in. He keep getting concussions.
He's doing what he loves. We appreciate your call.
We appreciate your call, guys. And also, Bryce Young sucks. We'll see you.
Appreciate the call. And Will Levis isn't doing much better.
Look.
Shut your
mouth. Take it easy. All right. We don't want a civil war within the show.
Shut your mouth.
Take it easy, guys. All right. Bryce Young is not doing too well. All right. Historically, his win-to-loss record is terrible. It's god awful. All right. I'm surprised they left him in that long, but I'm going to say this. All right. Great college player. And on the top of that, Will Levis, he isn't doing too well. Yeah, Tebow as well.
See, that's where he lost me initially when he said Pat Summitt was supposedly one of the greatest women's basketball coaches of all time.
Dude, I don't know where he was
going. Yeah, she is.
No, she is.
There's no supposedly about it.
He was going like 7 conversation at once, and I honestly couldn't.
It went from Nutter Butters to Pat Summitt to Bryce Young.
We didn't even get a dog of the week out of him. We should have asked him. I wonder what his dog of the week would have been.
It definitely is not the quarterback for Kentucky. I know that.
He didn't do too high. No, he didn't do running back. No, he didn't do too high either.
No.
Either way, we got to hop into a break. When we get back, we're hopping into a little NFL rundown. And that means I better get my voice ready because last week I just could not do it. This week I'm feeling a little bit better. Let's hop into it here on the Morning Blitz.
It's time to get ready for game day. That means Alabama football and tailgating. Whether you're tailgating at home or at Bryant-Denny, visit Brooks & Collier for North Alabama's largest selection of premium grills and smokers like Big Green Egg, Blaze, Delta Heat, Memphis, and Traeger. Satisfy any palate with our wall of rubs and seasonings. For all your tailgating needs, visit Brooks & Collier at 813 Meridian Street or at brooksandcollier.com. An Alabama tradition for over 75 years. Roll Tide.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well-trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
Looking for your next adventure to be out of this world but don't have enough money to buy a spaceship and leave orbit? Well, look no further than Divergence VR theme park off of Governor's Drive Southwest in Huntsville, Alabama. Are zombies more your style? How about driving your favorite cars on the world's fastest track? Or maybe a gorilla game that has you climbing up tall trees to escape other gorillas? Wait, that's actually a thing? Huh. Would you look at that? For whatever adventure you can dream of, call 256-203-4128 to get your VR adventure started now. Do it like this. Hello and welcome back in to the morning of Blitz. John A. Ram, Captain Cool, alongside Joe Hunk and the Bandy Man, Bailey Lowery. Interesting conversation from the callers, but at the same time, we have some comments that are going across the WZZN chat. And Joe, what do we got over there?
All right, so we were talking dogs of the week. We want yours. All you got to do is give us a call at 256-5764.
977.
You can also comment by going to WZZN TV on YouTube. Yorkie hops in with his pick for dog of the week, Derek Carr, who finished the game against the Cowboys, 243 passing yards, 3 total touchdowns in the game, a passer rating of 125 as the Saints destroyed the Dallas Cowboys.
Derek Carr's one thing, Alvin Kamara's another, though. I mean, this guy had like 4 total touchdowns.
He had 4 total touchdowns. He had 115 yards rushing. He also had 65 yards receiving.
Wild.
As well.
Wild stuff right there. Is we actually are probably going to have to rehash on that because it's time for the NFL recap. That's right. We're going over week 2 games.
I have no clue what's about to
happen. Where'd the music go? It just stopped. Oh, I understand why. Okay.
There it goes.
I'll leave the page over there. Oh, it stopped again. So there's a reason why it's not wanting to play, but now it'll play. Bandy, let me know if it gets a little too loud over there.
Yeah.
Either way, start it all off. Bills, Dolphins. Golly. Let me tell you, this game.
Golly.
That's about all you need to say.
It's like an Andy Griffith show over here.
James Cook honestly looked very good in this game. He had 2 touchdowns, 78 yards rushing the ball, and I'm not even going to try and say the Bills wide receiver that actually showed out because the list, it's dwindling. I'm going to be honest. Tua Tagovailoa, biggest story, him getting injured. When's he going to be back from concussion protocol? I'm hoping they give him probably 5 weeks to come back, and maybe we'll see what he's got. But honestly, that's a scary one right there.
Can you do me a favor when breaking this one down?
Yeah.
It's only for one person specifically.
Okay.
Who was the Dolphins' leading rusher in the game?
Devon A.J.
Who is their leading receiver in the game?
Devon A.J.
Okay, just double checking.
That was,
Continue.
I mean, where's Tyreek Hill at? He wasn't doing anything in fantasy, that's for sure. He had 6.6 points. All right, talk about a bad game. Bills win that one, 31-10. Moving on. Texans versus the Bears. I know this was a late night matchup just 2 nights ago. But, you know, it was another one of those back and forth. You get Caleb Williams. He's, of course, the first round pick last year, and you get a second draft pick 2 years ago in C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud, a little bit more of a veteran presence at the moment. Of course, 260 yards from him, 1 touchdown. Cam Akers had 32 yards on the ground, nothing really there. But Nico Collins continues to show why he's that number one. Is it Stephon Diggs? No. Is it Tank Dell? Hell no. Jeez, we got fantasy people upset that they got him on the team. Caleb Williams does everything for the Bears. And, of course, DJ Moore is that number one wide receiver. Get that bag and also feel bad for Bryce Young. Moving on. Steelers-Broncos. Steelers show you that you don't really need an offense to do much and win in the NFL as long as you got Mike Tomlin as the head coach. 13-6 was the score in this one as the Steelers moved to first in the AFC North, 2-0, and the Broncos fall to 0-2 out west. Bo Nix still hasn't exactly shown us what he's made of, but 246 yards in the air is pretty decent. He also threw a few interceptions. He also run the ball a little bit for 25 yards. That's just because the Broncos don't have a run game currently.
He was their leading rusher.
25 yards.
Yeah, he was their leading rusher.
That's pretty bad. Yeah. Najee Harris was the leading rusher on the Steelers, 69 yards. Nice. And the tight end position, of course, just because John has Freiermuth, didn't do much of anything. Justin Fields, I mean, is this guy a quarterback? What is this dude? I don't know why the Steelers fans want to keep seeing him right there, but he is a winner as he's 2-0 with this Steelers team. Moving on. Chiefs, Bengals. I mean, come on now. The Bengals just can't get their footing, especially against this Chiefs team. As one time, it was Burrowhead, but now it's back to being Arrowhead. Chiefs win this one 26-25 in a thriller all the way to the end. Joe Burrow had 2 touchdowns, 258 yards passing. Patrick Mahomes honestly had the less good game, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. Isaiah Pacheco gets injured, and now people are scrambling for a running back over in the fantasy leagues.
Yep.
And Rashee Rice, absolute dog mentality, even though he's one of the smallest wide receivers in the league. 5 receptions, 75 yards, 1 touchdown. And on the other side, Joey Ice, 258 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Zach Moss had 34 yards. That's nothing. And Mike Gesicki, the tight end. Remember him? He used to play for the Dolphins. He had 91 yards on 7 receptions.
Do you notice how thicker his New York accent gets whenever he goes through this?
Chiefs go 2-0.
Okay, just curious.
Bengals fall to 0-2 and are one of the worst teams in the league. Moving on, Cardinals versus Rams. Cardinals jumped ahead really quick in this one. Kyler Murray, of course, those 2 big touchdowns to Marvin Harrison Jr. The real story, though, Marvin Harrison Jr., absolute dog mentality off of 4 receptions. The first 2, he was able to take to the house in 2 totally different but still very impressive ways. One of them, toe tap in the back of the end zone. The other one, grabbed it, broke 2 guys, and dove to score the 6 points. 41-10 as the Rams are just embarrassed and fall to 0-2 despite having some pretty stellar talent. Blake Corum was also starting in that game. He didn't do much anything, and Matthew Stafford didn't do much anything. The real story here, Cooper Kupp's gone. The wide receiver room is very thin for the Rams. And we move on to the Buccaneers versus the Lions. You know who's not going to want to hear about this one? The one, Mr. Natty Dan. Of course, the Buccaneers win this one 20-16 as Baker Mayfield continues to roll on and off the field. He was able to throw the ball a bunch and run the ball a bunch, and Chris Godwin was his number 1 target. Mike Evans fans, I'm very sorry for you. Jared Goff, he did pretty good. Jameer Gibbs, pretty good. Amon-Ra St. Brown, he got a little shaken up after doing pretty well. I'm still good on time. Don't worry about that. 49ers versus the Vikings. Vikings win this one, move to 2-0, surprisingly, with Sam Darnold as the starter. Guys, this isn't just a spoof. They beat the Giants because they were better than them. They beat the 49ers because they were better than them. 23-17, Sam Darnold able to put up 268 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Justin Jefferson had one hell of a game. Making Justin Jefferson highlights. Brock Purdy still looking like Brock Purdy, putting up those yards. And Jordan Mason continuing to keep up where Christian McCaffrey left off. 100 yards by him and 1 touchdown. Deebo Samuel, though, out and on the IR. He's out for a little bit of time. Moving on, Seahawks versus the Patriots, 23-20. Seahawks get the win in the battle of the old quarterbacks that are trying to renew their careers. Jacoby Brissett put up 149 yards. Geno Smith put 327 yards. You know which one has a little bit more experience by that stat line. Moving on, because nobody wants to hear about those two teams. Jets versus the Titans. Joe, do you want to do this one?
Moving on. Next.
Okay. Jets won that one, by the way. It was a very close matchup, 24-17. Will Levis, what are you doing, man? Your coach is calling you dumb.
Stop trying to do stuff you shouldn't do. Just take the sack and kick the field goal.
Yeah, he just yeeted that
and
ball.
then don't come out the very next play and throw it into double coverage.
Yeah.
How about you don't do that?
Tajay Spears a little bit shaken up. Calvin Ridley had a wonderful grab. Breece Hall did just as what he needed to do, and Aaron Rodgers starting to look a little bit more comfortable behind that line. Moving on, Commanders versus the Giants, a wonderful, wonderful rivalry matchup right here. Jaden Daniels, he honestly looked a lot better than his fantasy numbers say, but either way, it was all about Brian Robinson Jr. as he was able to rush for 133 yards. Zach Ertz was doing some stuff in the wide receiver position, even though he's a tight end yet again. Daniel Jones. Hey, it's Daniel Jones. Moving on.
I just got one thing. If Bryce Young gets kicked out after 18 games, Giants do the same thing with Daniel Jones, man. It's about to be 65 for him. How many does he need?
They tried. They like 90% of Hard Knocks during the offseason was about them trying to trade Daniel Jones or get another quarterback so they could get rid of Daniel Jones.
Good job, Malik Neighbors.
Wanted to.
127 yards in the air, 1 touchdown off of 10 receptions. The Commanders win 21-18. Jaden Daniels gets his first win as a QB. Moving on, Saints absolutely obliterate the Cowboys, and it honestly is a little happy and a little sad because the Cowboys obliterated the Browns in the week 1, so it wasn't that great. But Saints looking like a pretty good team to start off the season. Derek Carr had 243 yards, 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara had 4 touchdowns altogether and made fantasy people really just wet their mouths. I mean, this is just crazy stuff. I didn't think he was even going to be this good. But either way, Rashid Shaheed also had a pretty stellar game with 96 yards receiving and 1 big touchdown that Joe Hunk wishes he had back as he dropped him in one of his fantasy leagues. I don't know which one.
No, I didn't drop him.
44-19 was the score. Saints win that one. Raiders also played up against the Ravens in a matchup that we honestly thought the Ravens could win this one. It didn't happen the way the Lamar Jackson thought, as they really just couldn't get anything going because Max Crosby is an absolute beast on the defensive line, and that goes for Aiden Hutchinson as well. I forgot to mention that. Raiders lose or win this one 26-23 and drop the Ravens to 0-2 on the season. Zamir White needs to start getting stuff going because it's starting to upset me. Chargers versus Panthers. The Panthers suck.
You think?
Colts versus Packers. We're moving on because we got limited time.
You think?
Packers continue to win. Whew. Well, actually,
no, it's not just that the Packers won. Who was their starting quarterback?
That was Malik Willis.
Malik Willis got the Packers a win.
Well,
where do they play on Sunday?
At Green Bay.
No.
Oh, you're talking about this upcoming Sunday?
This Sunday. Where do they play?
Tennessee Titans.
In Nashville, Tennessee Titans, in Nissan Stadium. So we get to see Levis versus Malik.
Oh, good thing those fans are going to probably be really drunk from that strip just around the road. Either way, Josh Jacobs was actually the guy that won this game as he had 32 attempts, 151 yards on the ground to move it. The Colts just didn't look like the same team that we've seen in the past, even with Gardner Minshew. And they really just weren't able to kind of get things going. But, Anthony Richardson, he's still young. He's only played in like 6 games in his NFL career. 16-10 was the score in this one as the Packers moved to 1-1. Browns and the Jaguars. The Browns came out rolling on this Jags team. And honestly, it was catching me off guard because the Jags were able to keep up with the Miami Dolphins last week, which is all just a full circle moment as the Jags fall to 0-2 in front of their fans at their stadium that's like rebranded to Trevor Lawrence's stadium. I don't exactly know because it's Deshaun Watson stadium.
It's also about to get renovated, and so they're about to have to go play somewhere else.
Just cut the whole thing down. And they're probably going to play over in Paris for like the next 2 years, maybe 4 or 5, something like that. And they probably should just stay over
may
there.
not just come back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 18-13 was the score. Good to see the Browns get a win, but honestly, they didn't end the game like they started, and it was a little bit upsetting. But moving on, last night, Falcons versus Eagles. I mean, what are you going to do? Kirk Cousins? He's got the chains. He's rolling hot, and he was able to beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the beautiful city of Philly. That was a joke. Either way, that's it for you guys. Most impressive win? Let me know. It was a very interesting week altogether, though.
Well, again, as a Titans fan, the only good thing about it is, yes, the Texans are 2-0, but everybody else in the division is 0-2. So you're not losing any ground.
Nope.
With the fact that Will Levis is acting like a moron. And so if he can actually just chill out and start just playing within the offense, they can play well. Because, yes, they can beat the Packers this weekend. Because, look, there's things that you never want to see. You never want to see a player that you trade away in baseball face your starting pitchers that he used to go up against in spring training and in simulated games. And you never, ever want to bring a quarterback back and go up against the team that he went up against in practice all the time, because they know every single one of his tendencies.
On top of that, last night's game, a lot of people aren't really talking about him, but good game by Matthew Judon, the brought-in player from the Patriots that was injured last season. And Tom at one point said, hey, this guy's washed up. He's a little too old. He was just injured last year. Before that, he was still putting up numbers that impress everybody, and also Jesse Bates.
Before all the suspension stuff was killed for the Titans with their edge rusher, I was totally on for Judon getting traded to the Titans.
Yeah, you would have loved that too. But either way, we got to hop to a break. When we get back, since we talked all the NFL games, now we can talk a little bit about fantasy player performances. And that's coming up next when we get into What's Your Fantasy here on the Morning Blitz.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
Tom Luganbill here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Already about to hit the halfway point. This is our high school streaming network. This week, week 4 features Buckhorn at Lee. Zone 2 features Madison Academy at Madison County. Zone 3 has the Randolph Raiders at Pope St. John Paul II. The Sparkman Senators will be on Zone 4. Plus, you can also hear it on Talk Radio 2 as well as on Talk Radio, with Huntsville taking on Sparkman. And Zone 5 features the Westminster Christian Academy Wildcats at DAR.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com. Here in North Alabama, barbecue is a part of what makes our home so special, and great barbecue from Lawler's makes it just that much better. Since 1978, Lawler's has been serving up their delicious barbecued pork, ribs, chicken, ham, and turkey for generations of family get-togethers. Recognized as the best barbecue joint in Alabama for 2 years in a row, Lawler's is thrilled to share their award-winning barbecue for your next family meal or catered event. Order online or stop by any one of their 14 area locations. Lawler's Barbecue, cooked slow, served fast.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect.
This speech is my recital. I think it's very vital to rock around. That's right. On time. It's tricky. It's like, here we go.
You know, I was going to take it a little bit slower this segment, but then the Beastie Boys hit. It's tricky, tricky, tricky. Favorite song on the Beastie Boys? Go.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
Jason in the WZZN TV chat says, my dog of the week is Jeff from the Borough.
Also, I got a little news for you, Captain Cool. This isn't the Beastie Boys.
Oh, was I wrong about that? Oh,
what
wait.
the heck?
It's not the.
It didn't even click with me because I was reading the chat and he said Beastie Boys for Tricky.
It's my bad. It's my bad. I mean, it's a similar storyline.
No, it's not.
It's Run DMC.
They're not. They're not even the same color.
Let's just say they sound a lot like the Beastie Boys. Favorite Run DMC song? Go.
Well, apparently yours isn't Tricky. We
No,
know that.
I was gonna go with the song that goes like, I did it like this, I did it like that, I did it with a wiffle ball bat. From the Beastie Boys. I don't even have the name for you guys, so there's my song. Either way,
you've got so many though.
I get them so wrong.
You've got so many.
I gotta go. God,
I've got to change seats. This thing's
I gotta go with the Walk This Way like collab they did with Aerosmith.
Okay.
Look, you've got Run's House. You have Walk This Way. You also have King of Kings.
Paul Revere. That's the song.
I mean, you got Paul Revere. They do the Run DMC is just legit in the My Adidas. Like the amount of music that they've thrown out, and you didn't even know that Tricky was one of them.
Oops. I'm sorry. Whenever it gets to that,
I didn't even mention that Tricky was one of their best ones.
Whenever I get into that time of my my younger life, okay, a lot of that kind of just melded together, and any like fake MCs that really came around, even the Run DMC, you know, whatever you want to say about them, they're real real MCs. It still had that same vibe as the Beastie Boys, and outside of that, it was Lonely Island. So, and outside of that, a real MC was.
I'm sorry, did you just
Marshall
say? Are you
Mathers.
considering Lonely Island in this discussion?
I'm just gonna throw it in there just because it's like goofy,
boss.
goofy music.
No, it's amazing music. It's not goofy music. I'm on a Boat is amazing. Like a Boss is amazing.
All of their songs.
Something About a Box is amazing.
I actually made a joke to that the other day. I had an empty tissue box.
Oh, did you cut a hole in the box?
No, you didn't have to.
No, you did. I know you didn't have to cut a hole in the box because it's already in the box. Just go right up the middle.
Right up the middle. Hey,
Just right up the middle.
You like to play it down the middle, boys.
Can we please start talking fantasy football and all this because this is becoming just this whole thing is taking a left turn today.
Hey, we got a little bit of goofiness going on a Tuesday, and that's the best thing. Okay, because Tuesdays, honestly, my least favorite days, but we do have some fantasy football to talk about. I know you guys had some pretty interesting weeks of football. Bandy, I don't know what was going on in your league.
My team sucked.
His team sucks. My team's terrible. I lost Evan Ingram before the actual game started, so definitely stay away from him when it comes to that. On top of that, Cooper Kupp's out, so we're going to need a replacement for him. Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely is still a question mark on who you'd rather want to start. It's so weird. It's so weird which one you'd want to start. I don't know exactly the answer. Christian Kirk's not as good as I initially thought when it comes to the NFL. Maybe it's just because Trevor Lawrence can't get him the freaking ball. And on top of that, we still have a few more weeks to wait for Nick Chubb, and David Njoku's going to be out for a few weeks. A.J. Brown's going to be out for a few weeks. And on top of that, the list goes on with plenty of other players. Joe, what's your observation?
All right. So what the whole point of what a lot of this is what we want to go through is obviously there's people that are having issues because you do have so many injuries that are going. So the idea is for all of us to sit and to think about and to give you suggestions as possible replacements for some of these players. So you have mentioned a ton of these, but which way do you want to go on this? Because there is right now people that I don't know why you would have had him, but is Andy Dalton worth starting in picking up in fantasy football leagues, because a lot of teams have their waiver wire going in, and tomorrow morning is when all of this goes through. So they need to make this decision tonight before they wake up in the morning.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. Andy Dalton, outside of many of the other QBs that are going to be on the waiver wire this week, because I know not everybody's going to be picked up depending on what league. Of course, you're going to lose some. You're still going to have some if you're in an 8-man league like we are. But I mean, Derek Carr is still out there. You know, he's a quarterback that's been able to really find success in these last 2 games. On top of that, Kirk Cousins was one of those guys that going into the season, I was looking at like he was going to have that same type of success over in Atlanta as he was when he was a Viking. That has not shown exactly, but yesterday we got a little taste of it. Of course, Darnell Mooney, he's going to get the ball to Drake London a little bit more. He just needs to find that talent that he had that isn't really in Atlanta at the moment, but there is a possibility for some of these guys to break out. You lose the mobility of getting another quarterback that could maybe get outside of the pocket, like if you had Deshaun Watson as a backup quarterback. But at the same time, you're getting a guy that can lead the league in passing yards, that he's done it before. Who says he can't do it again with this Atlanta Falcons squad? So,
all right. So there's your answer. I agree on Derek Carr. That's probably the one that I would say, if you do have that on fantasy football wires, if he is available, go ahead and get him. He's passed for over 440 yards so far in the first 2 weeks of the season. He's already got 6 total touchdowns, and he's only thrown 1 interception, and he's also gotten a few carries as well. A lot of that obviously was like, first and goal and type situations on the 1-yard line and things like that, but he's at least getting you some things. So yes, Derek Carr, I believe, is the answer. The other one that you were talking about is because Christian McCaffrey has now been put on the IR, which means he's going to be gone for at least 4 weeks. We don't know the extreme length of what Isaiah Pacheco is going to be gone for, but both of those humongous fantasy getters.
And Tajay Spears as well.
Tajay Spears as well. See, and you're still trying to figure out who was going to be the RB1 in Tennessee. Pollard is obviously now going to be that. So Spears getting injured is actually going to benefit you. If Pollard is available, I would go ahead and grab him, because if the Titans bring up somebody like a Julius Chestnut, he's not the same type of back of what Tajay Spears is.
Yeah.
Chestnut is very similar to the Derrick Henry, where it's going to be 3rd and short, 2nd and short, and you use him just to plow right up the middle.
Yeah.
So I would definitely Pollard on that. Another one to pay attention to is Zach Cabernet, because with Kenneth Walker out last week, the Cabernet and his fantasy point value actually came from the receiving position, even though he did have some rushing yards there. But pay attention to him, possibly pick him up, store him on your bench. And if on Sunday morning you wake up and you find out that Kenneth Walker is going to be out again for Seattle, put him in the starting lineup, because he's going to get points that way as well.
Yeah, and this also works for some other running backs that we also saw kind of go out during this past weekend. I mean, there's the whole question of when's that first call going to be made for that drop tackle, and a few guys were kind of let down this past week, as of course we saw the Bengals and Joe Mixon get mixed up with that, as he had his leg rolled, and it was a straight up drop tackle. And that's a question or a conversation for another day, but we make it down to the wide receiver room, as of course Cooper Kupp is injured. Evan Ingram, a tight end, still use him as a flex. He's not going to be playing. Now you look forward to what you could pick up on the board. A guy that is a free agent, probably on, I'd say 50 to 40% possibly of people's waiver boards, is going to be a guy named Rashid Shaheed, who, yes, he is one of those guys, very talented, very athletic. He's a little bit smaller, kind of like a Rashee Rice type of dude, all right? But this is a Derek Carr offense that loves to utilize this dude right here. And in the last 2 matchups, he's been able to put up a combination of 37 points, 20 in his last matchup, and 16 in that first game against the Carolina Panthers. I like him as a wide receiver / flex player.
A lot of times whenever I'm looking at a wide receiver and I'm looking at what to potentially add if you are in need of a wide receiver, and I know this is kind of hurting John right now, but look at the Rams and look at DeMarcus Robinson, because with Kupp gone, with the other wide receiver gone, Puka Nacua, with him being gone, that means that DeMarcus Robinson is kind of moving up in the pecking order when it comes to being the target. So that means that he's going to get thrown to a lot. He was the number 1 wide receiver for the Rams. I know that they got destroyed, but he was the number 1 wide receiver for that. And all you're trying to get is your points.
Yeah.
Because if it is all I look for a lot of times at wide receivers is just get me the points that you promised me.
Yeah.
That's it. Just get me those points, because if everybody gets me their points, I should win my game.
Yeah.
So then just get that. So if you're needing a wide receiver that can get you 12 to 13 points, then Demarcus Robinson is going to get the targets in this game.
And one last wide receiver pickup that you guys could look at over in the Chargers organization is actually Quentin Johnston. Remember him at TCU? He didn't really do much last season in his first year in the NFL, but now he's starting to find his footing, of course, on that Chargers squad, getting a few more passes. Last week, he was able to put up 22.1 points. He's currently averaging 14. The first game wasn't too much, but they're going to be playing up against the Pittsburgh team that has a really good defense. They're going to need to get the ball out quick, and I think Quentin Johnston's going to be a huge pickup, and everybody's going to look at you like you're the smartest guy in the fantasy league, but we look over to the tight ends as we get a little bit closer to the end of this segment. And Hunter Henry. I mean, there's no reason not to pick him up. If you're looking at guys, Taysom Hill, he's a little bit beat up. He would be another dude you could look at. But Hunter Henry is the dude that I'm seeing, and I'm just like, this is a typical Jacoby Brissett target right here. He's a veteran quarterback. He's going to throw to who he needs to, the wide open man, and it's usually Hunter Henry. He was able to put up 18.9 points last week on 8 receptions off of 12 targets. 12 targets. So definitely a pickup in the tight end position. Joe?
Well, no, I think Hunter Henry's probably your best option there, mainly because the Jets are giving up a lot of receiving yards. It's kind of the same way when going back to Demarcus Robinson. Demarcus Robinson is in the game they play this weekend is going up against San Francisco. As great as the run defense has been and short passing has been, the San Francisco's given up a lot of passing yards so far, which helps out wide receivers. It's the same way with the Jets and Hunter Henry. Just make sure that if you can get him, only get him because you're going to need 9 or 10 points, which means maybe 2 or 3 catches, 15, 20 yards. If he does get into the end zone, that's going to be awesome. But that's what you're looking for with the tight end. You're not looking for him to have 110 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. You're basically looking for somebody that can get you double-digit points, and Hunter Henry's a guy that could do that this weekend.
Yeah, opposite the side of that, Hunter Henry, traditional tight end, guy like Kyle Pitts, guy like Isaiah Likely. Those are 2 tight ends that are going to be thrown into that wide receiver role as well. So just take that into account as you're looking through the free agency board.
Yeah, so you're working for Mom and Ezra. So we shouldn't pick up Bryce?
Oh, no. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good 4th string quarterback if your league even allows that.
No. Pick him up. Yeah, no, everybody. Yeah, pick him up. Matter of fact, start him.
Feel free.
Yeah, start him.
Yeah,
let's see.
If your name is John Liggett, you need a quarterback.
Yeah, Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I think that you should go with him. I think that you should start him.
Yep.
And I think that it's going to be extremely funny when you have him and you have a defensive lineman that picks him up and begins to curl him.
Yep, Brian, if you're listening, please go ahead and pick him up as well. I mean, go ahead and make him your starter. I think he's going to have a good week next week.
I'm playing summer this week in fantasy football. So I've lost to Tom. I've lost to John. And now it's time for me to probably get my butt whooped.
Oh, that is going to be kind of weird.
Yeah, trust me. I have just talked strictly about being an off season for me, but don't worry, because come week 5, I'm going to win it all. Either way, we got to hop into a break.
Like that 1 week?
Well, no, that's going to be the turnaround week.
Oh,
yeah, it's going to hit like that. I don't know.
Don't.
Either way, we're going to hop into a break when we get back. Well, what?
When we get back, I actually have a funny story for you that I just learned about.
Okay. Well, Bandy's got
some stuff that I don't even know if we can put it on the air.
We can put it all on the air. Well, that's what I mean. We've put it all on the air today. When we get back here on the Morning Blitz.
Situated downtown on Clinton Avenue, you'll find the Church Street family's take on delicious seafood and more. Sea Salt. At Sea Salt, the food speaks for itself. Fresh oysters, shrimp and lobster, and non-seafood fare. Plus a large selection of wines, regional and local beers on tap, and a full bar. Catch the downtown vibe with Sea Salt's unique outdoor city street and patio seating with a view of Jesse Andrews' mural, bringing an underwater world to life. No reservations necessary. Sea Salt, 114 Clinton Avenue.
Hi, folks. Bobby White back again for Woody Anderson Ford, inviting you to come test drive any one of our over 100 F-150s. From rock-solid, dependable work trucks to our state-of-the-art Platinum Series, we've got an F-150 for you. Test drive one today, and you'll understand why the F-150 is the best-selling truck in America, going on 48 years in a row. Just as successful offenses and defenses are built on teamwork, Woody Anderson Ford is powered by our people. Our sales and service teams are well trained to save you time and money. And because we want your business again and again, no one will work harder to earn it. Our mobile service teams come to your home or business for oil changes, brake work, tire rotations, and more. And the great thing is you don't pay extra for it. We come to you with mobile service at no extra charge. Proud to be local, family-owned, and at your service for over 62 years. Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Hey, Huntsville. Looking for action-packed events? The Huntsville Sports Commission is your hub for all things sports. From youth events to national tournaments, we've got events that thrill and inspire. Whether you're an athlete, a fan, or a volunteer, there's something for everyone. Cheer on your favorite teams, witness amazing talent, and be a part of the excitement. Check out our event calendar and get involved at huntsvillesports.com. That's huntsvillesports.com. Be there, Huntsville.
Final segment of the morning Blitz. It's been a wonderful episode. You guys have been great to us over the phone lines. Thank you, Jeff. And on top of that, over on the chat box on WZZN TV. Also, make sure you guys have our app, 97.7 ESPN The Zone and Talk Radio WZZN. You can find them both on Apple and Android smartphones. Joe.
So let me ask you guys a question. If Steve Sarkisian was to sit down in front of you guys right now and say, you know what, I'm looking at getting some endorsements, what would be the worst endorsement idea for somebody like Steve Sarkisian?
The worst endorsement idea.
Yeah.
Probably like a hamburger company.
Okay. No, you're not thinking
the worst endorsement opportunity. Man, if it's not food or anything, I'm stumped.
He's an alcoholic, so getting something beer related would be horrible.
Man, I forgot he was an alcoholic.
Yeah, I mean that's the reason why everything happened at USC. He had to go in. Yeah, absolutely. That was part of what he was working on. Was at Alabama. You know, again with alcoholism.
I was way off.
You were way off. That being said, last season, Nicholas Petit-Frere, who is the right tackle for the Tennessee Titans, got suspended for. Do either of you know?
I'm going to assume it's related to alcohol.
No, gambling.
Oh,
nice.
Because he was gambling in the practice facility.
Can't do that.
So Fantasy Life has welcomed Nicholas Petit-Frere as their fantasy expert on their gambling website.
Oh, no.
Hey, you win some, you lose some, guys.
Yes.
When one door closes, another door opens.
He's still playing. The man gave up like 9 pressures over the weekend to Will Levis. It is part of the reason Will Levis was having to run for his life for some of these games and making the dumb decisions that he did. And he is now a part of a gambling website where he gives you picks for you to bet on.
Well, I mean, if you're out of the league for a little bit, you might as well just take
He's
advantage.
not.
Oh.
He's on the field. He will be wearing a uniform on Sunday.
Look, it's like, sorry, Levis, I bet the over.
I mean, it's yeah. I told everybody to bet over on sacks to Will Levis this week. So
I see why you made the Steve Sarkisian connection.
Because it would be the dumbest thing that you could possibly do is to try to get him to do that, which is horrible. Yeah. Let's get MPF to be a gambling expert.
Man, he's gonna be itching the whole time. He's like, I can make
next. Calvin Ridley's gonna join him. Like it's come on.
It's Tennessee for you. Bandy, Diddy, what information you got on Diddy?
He got indicted on sex trafficking 2 hours ago.
No.
Okay.
Officially.
Finally.
Yeah. From 08 to the present. Oh my God. It's literally what did he do?
I like that segment.
Make good music.
Yes. But also, members of the Combs Enterprise allegedly engaged in sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in said prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice.
Get him out of here!
Everything on the book. Crap. Lock him up forever.
I added some Puff Daddy songs a few days ago.
You gotta get those out of there.
They're so good, though.
Good riddance, Diddy. Get away. wonderful Tipsy Tuesday.
Long story short, Diddy did it.
Here on the Morning Blitz. I appreciate you guys. We'll be back in 22 hours here on the Morning Blitz.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work, shower doors, shelving,